morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Friday. I hope it finds you well. Congratulations, right? We made it through another week. And, well, you know, as every day now, everything is very interesting. We've got another delay. We will not be striking out at Iran's infrastructure, at least their utilities, now until April the 6th. Something where today the Wall Street Journal says the Iranians never asked for that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to know what to believe. Several Chinese ships were sent away from the Strait of Hormuz today, so it looks like things are getting worse. We have a very bad thing happening in the bond market. The 10-year note yields 4.44 above that 440 level. You got the UK 10-year back over 5%. Essentially, bonds across the world, yields heading higher. We've got higher oil prices. We are getting close to all-time record highs. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we have something we haven't seen since this started. So we've had a very clear pattern since the war started with oil going up, bond yields going up, gold going down. Today, and maybe this is, this 440 level, we knew at some point that it would go the other way. At some point, we kind of knew, okay, well, yields keep going the wrong direction because we're at the point now where yields, this is not productive. And oil prices continuing to escalate, that you would eventually see that gold is the flight to safety. And remember, it's done its job. It provided all kinds of liquidity through the early phases, through the first month of this. And now, you know what? I think the traders are probably, okay, we're positioned here. Turkey sold a huge amount of gold, over 58 tons of gold in less than 2 weeks. No problem. Of course, the Turks do that a lot. You know what? They always have one big sale every year, and then they spend the rest of the year buying it all back. So I don't know that that's a big deal, but it was a lot in a very short period of time. And today we'll see it's only a day, but it is very interesting. You got gold up $130. Silver's up over $2.50. Wall Street is down over 400 points. And everybody's saying that, hey, the delay may be something that was the U.S. We're not ready. We need more time. Are we going to put troops on the ground? Word today, maybe another 10,000 troops may be headed over there. And then there was attacks by Israel on steel plants and what they'll call industrials in Iran. 2 steel plants were hit. As well as some other, targets. And the Iranians, everybody's expecting their reaction will not be a good one. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the Iranians never requested any pause on strikes to its energy plants. I don't know. I don't know what to think, what to believe, but nonetheless, things escalated today with the strike on these steel plants, and at the same time, Iran denying several Chinese ships from entering the Strait of Hormuz. So we'll see how this gets into effect. And here's the thing, I'll be honest with you. Any delay now doesn't matter. We're getting to the point now, and remember, I've been trying to tell you this all along. We had to the end of the month, and then things get real. And what I mean by that is there were some cards to be played, right? Oh, let the Russians sell the oil that they had at sea. Let the Iranians sell their oil at sea. Let's do the drawdown of strategic oil reserves all across the world, right? Have Saudi Arabia divert some of its oil to where it doesn't go through the Strait of Hormuz. And we've done them all. We've done all of these things. Venezuela, look at Venezuela. Okay, Venezuela can sell oil now. Of course, they got to sell it to us, and then we sell it to somebody else or whatever it is. All the cards have been played. And what we're left with is every day there are countries wanting to buy millions of barrels of oil, about 10 million barrels a day, that they can't get. And so we're going to see now every week more and more stress in these oil markets. Are we going to see gold go with it? We'll see. Remember, we've been telling you all week, make sure you buy before the dust settles. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Friday. We've got a very active market, to say the least. Not as expected today. Last night, the Trump administration said, hey, we're going to delay. The Iranians have asked. Things are, negotiations are ongoing. Right? This is like that William Wallace scene, right? Right? If this is your army, right, why does it flee? Right? Why is it not engaging? And everybody kind of thought that was going to be good news. But the oil market said, we don't care anymore. You're out of time. And the prices stayed up. Right? Remember, the last time Trump made this, we got something. Oil fell like $10. Didn't this time. The bond market, it got worse instead of better. And, of course, gold went a lot higher today. Let's take a look at the markets. Right now, the Dow is down 400 points, well into correction territory now, 45,000 and change. The S&P's down 56. The Nasdaq's down 300 points. The 10-year note, 443. It's been as high as 448, guys. By the way, another disastrous auction yesterday. Matter of fact, there wasn't a single good U.S. auction this week. It's just a terrible, and you're seeing it reflected in these yields that are heading higher. Right now, NYMEX crude, $98. Brent crude, $111. Right? So Brent, the high was $121. Unleaded gas, right? It's higher. It won't be long until, come Monday, we'll see where we're at. Again, Chinese ships were turned away at the Strait of Hormuz today. Maybe they didn't pay the bounty. I don't know. Gold's up $150. Yeah, just like that. 45.30. Silver, yeah, up over $3. $71. We're going to work on something here, try to get you the best deal we can heading into the weekend. But, Jason, this maybe, are we setting up again back to this? Well, we'll see. Listen, anything can happen. But this is kind of a surprising up day to where, wait a minute, yields are exploding to the upside, oil's going to the upside, and gold and silver are going to the upside while the markets are selling off.
Yeah. We talked this morning at a little bit of everything going up today. I'm just starting to look at what you were telling me this morning, and let's see if this is where oil is going to settle, and then gold and silver will now resume going up with the just the talk of spending more money, right, Joe? I mean, because $200 billion, that was the opening number, right, for more military funding, right? So we know it's not going to be more than that, and we're going to see. Well, because gold and silver will go up, but right now, institutional large buyers who have a percentage in their commodities portfolio have decided if there's going to be a horrible war that they're going to buy paper oil. And if they want to keep that percentage of commodities stable, then they have to sell something. But what were they doing last year, right, Joe? They were loading up on gold and they were loading up on paper silver. So as soon as gold stables off, these guys know what's going to happen. There's going to be inflation and more gold and silver going up, and the oil will stop going up. At some point, oil will stop going up. And they'll just sell off the paper oil, and then suddenly, while you were sleeping and trying to decide when you were going to buy or sell gold, that the price is going to go up very quickly like silver did last year and gold's been doing, Joe.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation today for sure. I think a lot of people are now thinking that this is not going well. The war's almost over. Doesn't seem to be what is happening. I think people are extremely concerned with the strikes on the steel plants by Israel today and what the retaliation is going to be from the Iranians. And we saw it in the consumer data today. We got University of Michigan. It wasn't great, right? We had headline numbers falling, the lowest reading of the year, right? That just means the mood of the consumer is low. And then unfortunately, as expected, a big jump in inflation expectations from the consumer. And again, more problems in private credit. Shh, nobody say anything, right? You can't hide it forever as the market now, like I said, listen, Wall Street has behaved fairly well. Now, it's still obviously, right? It's not 50,000, right? It's 45,000. It's not terrible. But are we getting ready to see Wall Street now all of a sudden start pricing in the actual realities of, this is going to last a lot longer than we hoped. We got problems with the Mag 7. We've got problems with the chip makers, right? No helium. And all of a sudden now the U.S. consumer, hey, all that extra money is being spent at the gas tank. And now maybe we're not going to see the lift that we need to see. Now, obviously, the government needs to still spend, right? They want hundreds of billions of dollars, and it looks like the $200 billion request looking more and more like an entry-level number. And that is definitely a big problem. Last night, the president did talk about taking off, at least temporarily, the gas tax. I think that's going to happen. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens next week. Which, guys, what does that mean? Maybe it'll allow gas prices for a week to stay right where they're at. Right? Instead of it going up another 50, 60 cents next week. And if I'm right, I think we're going to see the president do it. But, Jason, that's just another unplanned shortfall for the government, right? That's revenue that is not going to come in. That's going to, again, exacerbate the debt problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's nice to say, I guess. I think the debt problem is the goal, and the debt will go up. It's we always talk about the things that need to go right. Well, things need to get fixed, but things aren't going right. But I think things are going exactly according to plan. I think they've been going according to plan since 1913. Before 1913, these guys that want to control the money supply, the currency in all countries and be on both sides of every war are getting exactly what they want. It's going according. Oh my gosh, things are so wrong. Things are out of control. I don't know. I see things very, very rigidly in control, which is why I got into gold and silver. When I hold that ounce of gold, the Federal Reserve can't do anything about that. I mean, not directly, right? That ounce of gold in my hand, they can't do anything directly with it. And look, they don't want, these central bankers don't want gold to be a store of wealth. They don't want it to compete against their currencies, which is why I'm super, super big fan of gold and silver. Right? I'll do whatever I can, right, Joe? We do whatever we can, right? Everyone's got to do whatever you can, right? And you want to have protected savings. Oh, I got my 401k. It grows every year. I'm so happy with it. I've not heard anyone ever thrilled when they cash it out, Joe. I've never heard someone, oh, yeah, man, my 401k. I am so happy I cashed it out. All I ever hear is, people just don't want to talk about it. They're very quiet about it. They actually look at the numbers, the fees and the penalties and the taxes. They don't want to talk about that part of it, right? They don't want to talk about how you're being hosed in the end. Or if you need the money early, they hose you before the end. Right, Joe? But with gold and silver, you buy it for a certain amount. When it's time to sell, you are offered a price. You can decide to sell it or hold on to it a little longer. Right, Joe? Sometimes people come in, Joe. They want to sell their gold and silver. We give them a price. It's not very good. Not good enough for them, at least, what they were looking for. And they just hold on to it. I've watched these people come back a year later, right, Joe? And then they're like, okay, this is what I wanted. No penalties, no taxes, no fear-mongering financial agents. Right, Joe? You better not sell this 401k. What are you, stupid? Right? That's what they do. They have the higher chair. You're sitting below the desk. You're like, don't do something stupid. Leave your money in here. How do I get my commissions if you take your money out?
Yeah, the pinstripe bandit is exactly the pinstripe bandit. Now listen, don't get me wrong. It's not the stock market's not evil. It's not bad. What's evil is the central bank.
Yep.
What's evil is the money printing. That's what's evil. And we've had a nice run, haven't we, with Wall Street? Right? After the financial collapse, they decided, let's just go with insanity. That's what they decided. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look. Financial crisis hits. We weren't even at $10 trillion, right? Fast forward to today. We're what, I don't know, a month away, 2 months away from $40 trillion? So we've added $30 trillion of debt in what? Less than 20 years? Less than 20. 3 times more than we had before the financial crisis even started. And you know what the plan is. We've been telling you the plan. The plan is to print more. That's the plan. Why? Because there is no other plan. What's the other plan? Print less. Well, what happens? Collapse. Wall Street collapses. Now we're at a problem here where they've printed so much. Any hiccup can derail this. And we're seeing right now, I'm telling you, Wall Street's been well behaved. What happens the next time? It's not. Listen, down 400 or 500 a day, that's nothing. What happens if it's down 4,000 in a day? We will see it. We will see it. I'm telling all of you, and I've been telling all of you, be real careful here. Get more protection. The institutionals, they figured it out. They're through their liquidity needs. And now they're getting ready for the big event to actually come and crash and wipe out. Listen, boom and bust. That's the cycles we live in. Just remember, they created it. We didn't. 800-951-0592. Citigroup saying that they are now cutting U.S. stock exposure, saying this war there's no end, at least quick end to this war. There could be, guys. Take our ball, go home. Call it good. I don't think they're going to listen, though. Gold's up 170 right now, 45.50. $20 gold pieces, 47.50. Yep, just like that. Getting more expensive. Silver's up $3.50, 71.50. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. Where are we today? 16.55 at 800 951 0592, and I guess we'll wait for Monday unless we see other things developing. The two big developments: the delay in us going after Iran's infrastructure, at least the energy side of it today. The Israelis, kind of like they've done before, they went after the steel stuff, so we've been staying away from things that could be military, could not be military, right? We haven't hit water, haven't hit oil and gas. We hit some gas, but that didn't go very well. We'll see how that goes. Right now, the president now saying April 6th is kind of the new line in the sand. So that's a week from Monday. As we said, we had another terrible auction yesterday. The lowest bid to cover going back for a while. The biggest tail ever. This was a 7-year auction, by the way. Every auction this year, the biggest tail in years. And remember, as I've taught you, tails are bad. And it's never good when you start seeing bid to covers fall. It's never good when you have tails, which means the United States isn't able to sell the debt at what the paper market or what they were hoping for. In other words, yields going higher. Remember, on bonds, when yields go up, bondholders lose money, right? It's kind of an inverse relationship there. And Jason, here's the tough part. The Fed's having to buy debt already. They're already buying $70 billion a month, and we're still having problems. So how far away are we from having even more quantitative easing? Now, they may call it, like this. They don't want to call it quantitative easing anymore, but it looks like that's going to have to come back sooner than later.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch because we don't really know exactly where the war is headed and how that's going to change the direction of all this, right? So until it's a little more clear, I guess today's market, that's saying that maybe the war is going to end, right, Joe? And hey, we're moving in, everything's, and I didn't watch the news last night and this morning, so I don't know how many things are blowing up or not blowing up, but I guess that's kind of what
today's market, I think, is this war's not going to end quickly. That's where they are today. Today is like, there's not going to be a ceasefire. This delay appears, at least for what the market's interpreting, that the United States just wasn't ready yet, right? They want to get more assets to the Gulf. Now, they've dispatched thousands of Marines They're just not there yet.
Yet oil is still below $100. I mean, it's just
on NYMEX. Yeah. Brent crude is the one that would hit 120. It's at 111. So it's in the ballpark. And of course, NYMEX 97.50 this second, almost 100.
But doesn't a ground war against Iran mean like $150 oil? I mean, it just doesn't seem. It doesn't ring the emergency that it seems like it should have. In past situations that are similar.
Here's the thing. Next week, if the sentiment is the same as this week, we're probably going to see right to Jason's point. Right now, everyone's thinking oil's going to go higher. We'll see. Too early to tell. But today's market is the first time where, allegedly, hey, we're not going to bomb them. That was perceived as really good news last week, right?
Right.
Really good news last week. Matter of fact, at one point, oil was down $13. This week, hey, we're not going to bomb them. We're going to wait another 10 days to bomb them. And the oil market went up anyway. And I think to Jason's point, this is kind of their begrudging. They don't want to go up. But I think right now they're like, okay, we're out of tricks, right? And Iran just turned back Chinese oil ships. We'll see, right? Again, to Jason's point, we haven't seen the bad stuff yet, but it sure looks like to me, at least anyway, maybe in the gold markets for the first time, they're saying, we may be in for inflation. Forget about 5%. Right now, you've been hearing 5% a lot. That's going to be thrown out. If we're here April 27th, how's that? April, because right now it's March 27th, and we're still, the Strait of Hormuz is still not open. Yeah, 5% inflation. Forget it. Right? We'll be back towards, there will be people out there calling for double. I don't know if we'll get to 10%, but this will be very 1970s like as far as the inflation numbers go. The difference will be this is a no job economy right now. This looks like maybe a worst case stagflation scenario could play out. But to Jason's point, heck, by Monday, we could be taking our ball and going home. Nobody knows.
Yep. Wait and see. Like I said, it's the most disconjointed, weird war that it's played more like a board game than just play like an actual let's go defeat the enemy. It's very strange, very unbelievable what's going on. So I guess financially we'll find out where things fall when they give us the next chapter of our television show on the news.
The unbelievable war.
The unbelievable war. The Epstein war.
More wait and see. 800-951-0592. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up this week. What a crazy week. I mean, we've had oil prices pretty much all over the place. We've had gold and silver prices all over the place. And now we head into the weekend back right where we started. We don't know. I mean, we know that at least the U.S. is saying that we're not going to be hitting Iranian utilities. We'll see. We'll see, right? We've heard that before as well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. We've had, obviously, a lot of inflation concerns this morning. Qatar Energy, which already was in force majeure in liquid natural gas, has now extended that force majeure, saying it all the way through May and longer, saying that Italy, Belgium, South Korea, China, and others are effectively having all of their liquid natural gas shipments through May canceled. So again, we're seeing here the market's not working, right? Where we, these countries and these hedge funds and businesses, they rely on these contracts to be delivered. And we have this situation, same with gold and silver, right? The worry is when all the dust settles, are we going to be able to get delivery of the things we need? So right now, Qatar is saying, hey, natural gas, you're not getting it. Can it be made up somewhere else? No. We have some. That's the good news. That's something we have. Unfortunately, in Texas, we just throw it all away. But we can't replace it. We can minimize it, but you can't replace it. And is this going to start spreading? And that's the worry. Is there going to be force majeures in helium? Is there going to be chip companies saying, hey, sorry, General Motors, sorry, Ford, sorry, OpenAI, sorry, Microsoft, sorry, Google, Apple, we don't have enough chips for you this time around. We don't know. One of the things that we worry about in silver especially, are we going to end up in a situation where the markets say, hey, I know you wanted delivery on these contracts. Unfortunately, here's the cash, right? But I don't want the cash, right? I want my silver. Sorry, right? And these, there'll be lawsuits, but Jason, they're very smart. All of these contracts have wording in it that essentially allows them to renege on these promises.
When is anybody in control not reneging on any promises?
Right, yeah.
There's no promises. Are you kidding me? The rules of the game are that they can change the rules whenever they want. How's that? Anytime something needs to be changed, something needs to be altered, it will be done. And then us folk down here, we need to obey the rules by the T or to the T, or there's consequences, right, Joe? Pay your federal income tax, right? pay the toll, pay the fee, go to work, and by the way, we're going to, while you're paying that federal income tax, which really just goes into a dark hole, doesn't pay anything, it pays the interest on the debt only. While you're doing that, 20-30% of your work week is going to a big black hole. You're working for nothing. We're going to take a whole bunch of printed money that out of nothing. We're going to build bombs and planes and tanks and go blow things up. It's a great monetary system. It's so awesome. Aren't you glad you participate with 20-30% of your work week going into a big black hole to pay the interest on the fraudulent debt that we have purported upon you? And that, Joe, that's always been the most frustrating part. They borrow the money, make it out of nothing, and then the government borrows it, and we pay interest against it, and that's what our taxes go to. That'll be our taxes pay Social Security, and our taxes pay Medicare, and our taxes pay the military. Not really. No. Add the numbers up. It pretty much just pays the interest on the debt. What that is you have to work 20-30% of your work week, maybe more, before you can earn money that you actually spend. It's to slow you down. Rockefeller said it many times in competitions. You hear it with these big billionaires nowadays. Competition is a sin. What does Peter Thiel say, the guy that got Trump elected? You got to go find a business and you got to monopolize it. That's how you make your money. You got to be the guy that controls that whole industry. And that's how you become the big shot, right? And so while you're out there working and paying your income taxes, you're not monopolizing anything, are you, Joe?
Yeah, and I just we're in this environment now, guys. Just understand they're going to do more nonsense here. Obviously, interest rates need to go higher, right? I mean, right now, Jay Powell should be out saying, hey, in the May meeting, we're going to raise rates because we have to. Matter of fact, they should probably be talking about 50 basis points, maybe a whole point. But I don't think we're going to get any.
No.
And instead, they're going to have to announce what we need. We need to create more money out of thin air and sop up all of this debt. It's going to be the exact opposite of what they should be doing. And this is why gold is going to roar. This is why gold's going to 10,000, going to 20,000. Patriot Radio News Hour, 800-951-0592. We now have confirmation. The three largest steel plants in Iran have been hit by Israel, and Iran says all assets are now fair game. So we'll see what happens.
Go watch some basketball.
Yeah. Go watch. Go watch the madness on the TV. How about those Hawkeyes? By the way, I had them. Matter of fact, I had Iowa and Purdue.
Yeah, we'll cover a little bit of what the average young American is thinking about.
I'm going to tell you right now. Run to your phone. $20 gold, $47.50. Get as many as you can. Tell you what. How about 10? Let's do this. Let's $10 pieces, $23.90. $20 pieces, $47.50. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. Tell you what, $16.50. Make it save you $5. $16.50 on U.S. Silver Eagles. By the way, I have the right to change those prices at any time that I want because in 5 seconds, gold could be up $300. It could be down $100. We don't know. Anything and everything. March living up to the madness for sure at 800-951-0592. But I will say this, spring break, right? Spring break, they were out there asking all of us parents out there, my kids are no longer on my payroll. And they did spring break, but our youngest son, our oldest son, his spring break, he was on spring break when COVID came. His spring break turned into drive back to school and clean out your dorm room and go home because the school's closed, right? My youngest, he went to school, University of San Diego. You guys know he turned into a big surf geek. And him and his buddies went to El Salvador. Yeah, right. Nobody but them out there, but they have great surfing. They didn't do the Florida thing. Wow. Well, let's just say this. We're all going to have a good laugh, right, Jason?
Yeah. I mean, things are blowing up, but it's not blowing up in Colorado or Arizona exactly. So all we could do is sit here and watch it. If someone said, Joe and Jason, we're going to let you decide what to do, then maybe we could change some things. But no, they don't. Gus Commonwealth.
I'll tell you right now. You put me in charge. Hey, Oren, let that be a lesson to you, and don't make me come back because I will. And go home.
Why do we get the feeling if somebody in charge of America, somebody outside the system would have walked in there, hey, I'm going to come on over to your place and we're going to talk and I'm going to smooth things out and we're going to be friends. Why do I have the feeling that would actually work? That would probably work. But because the system will not allow anybody independent in this world, Iran either has to be bought out or destroyed. So we're going to find out if they've been bought up or if they're going to be destroyed. That's, I guess, what we're going to find out.
Right, yeah.
And apparently you can't do it without a ground war, so ground war makes this more real. Let's see if we have like a buzzer beater on one side of the screen this weekend and something blowing up on the other side of the screen.